everybody, my name's Andy and this is the Flat Thunder channel. Today we're going to work on installing one of these Ring floodlight cameras in this. Let's see what's inside. Say hello to Ring. Okay, you can adjust these all around. Here she is. This is our Ring floodlight cam. Has two LED floodlights, motion sensor activation with a built-in camera. This is the mounting plate. This holds everything up. Now this does need your standard 110, 120 volt, 110, 120, whatever you want to call it, standard household wiring to it, supplied to it to operate. It's not battery operated. That the ideal height of the unit is 9 feet or 3 meters from the ground, with the motion sensing head parallel to the ground, and this should give you 30 feet of detection. Right now we're going to go up and test fit it on this metal siding, see how the mounting flange meets up to the sheet steel of this building. What do you think? So what we're checking up there is how this mounting flange meets up with the siding, and you can do it the same down here because it's lower, but you'll have a little bit of a gap where the raised or formed section of the siding is, but we can compensate for that with a little bit of silicone caulk. So I think we're going to mount it in the center of the two raised ribs. So it's as flat as possible without requiring an extra junction box. And I think we're going to mount it up there. I'm going to get the tape measure. I think we're going to mount it on one of the, I'm going to call it a purling, but one of the 2x6s that run this way. That way we're not just attaching to the sheet steel. So we got an option there, and then one a little bit up taller above the garage door. I think the one up above the garage door is too tall because that's a 10-foot tall door. So we're probably gonna have to go to the top edge of this lower one here. So we have our caulk gun full of window caulk, because that's what I usually have a ton of. Some tinted caulk would work better in this case, but this will do. You won't even see it. And then I got my cordless drill, a couple of exterior coated screws to mount the mounting plate, and of course our mounting plate. So we're going to take this up there. We're going to mount it where the light's going to go. Make sure you check inside before you start drilling holes and you have access to it so you can run your wire. So I have my 1/2-inch drill bit on the cordless drill here. We're just going to start in the middle and punch a hole all the way through into the inside. Welcome to Inside the Messy Garage. The pallet rack, as you can see, is directly behind where we're mounting our light. We need to get power up to that hole that we just drilled. Okay, we got our hole. Now all we need to do is get power to that hole. And looking around, we're directly behind my pallet rack. We have an outlet up there, but that's switched for the lights. And we have some outlets down there, which if we can get around all this stuff, those outlets are hot all the time. So we're going to scab power from down there so it's hot all the time, because you want your light to stay on all the time. Always use my current detector to make sure power is turned off to the outlet. So that red light means that there's live power at this outlet. So I'm going to go start switching breakers until that light goes off. Okay, always test your unit by holding the test button to make sure the light's still good. Static electricity will make it flash, but the power is definitely off here. So now we're ready to remove this and get our power feed for our ring light installed. .14 gauge wire is plenty to run this motion security light. So I'm going to stab it in our hole and start working on routing it back to our outlet, which is over there. That's just about enough monkey climbing for the day. We were up there above that top tier, the hole's out, just above that, and it runs over just behind this tier here. Then we're over to the corner, coming down. We got it stapled all along the top there, and down here on the way down, I think we'll just zip tie it to the other wire. This is not really a this is just not really a permanent thing. We're going to change all this wiring when we finish the interior. Somebody cool has got their Harley out, probably loading it up with a bunch of salt. So I just, there's a tab on the back of the box here. You have to, this particular style, it just breaks off. So you have to break it off. Some other styles have a tab that always stays in there and kind of grips the wire. But this particular box, it just breaks off. It just fell out there. Remove the outer insulation. Not gonna lie, I probably should have left this a little bit longer. Oh well, it'll work. It's just a little more difficult to work with. And I made a boo-boo here. I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually a 3-wire. It has your neutral and then 2 hot legs, which we didn't need this for this. I just grabbed a scrap piece of wire, and we only need a 2-wire, which is your neutral your hot feed and then your bare ground. This extra one, I'm just gonna cut off because I should have used a wire that didn't have this, but this is just what I had laying around. Okay, if you look at the back of these switches, it's going to have a strip gauge, so you can use the push-in connectors. It's actually up here in the end. I can't get the wires around to show you, but these are stripped such that we can use the quick connect on the back of the outlet. It omits the side screws, which it looks like this one's missing a screw. I usually run these in, which for some reason we didn't on this outlet. So the neutral side goes on the silver side. And then the side with the gold screws is the hot side. Usually you can push them in by hand, but this one's got a pretty good spring grip on it, so I had to use these pliers. Now if they're in there, give them a little tug test, make sure they're not going to come out. Even check the old ones that were in there. If you didn't see me do it, I took the bare ground wire and wrapped it around the existing one that was there. I'll thread these screws in. They don't do anything, but I don't like to leave them hanging out like that. They could short out. Our wires through here, we have obviously more than what we need, so we'll cut it off to the length that we can connect it to the light. The light itself came with wire nuts and this little hook. I gave you the little hook so you can hang the light up while you're doing the wiring. I just need to trim our wire. I'm going to put, once we get the length selected, I'm going to put some caulk around this hole here to help center it in this hole so it's not chafing on this sheet metal or moving in and out. So we'll fill that with silicone. And then after we make our connections, all we have to do is put the light up here and install our screws. Looking at bare wire, I threaded it into behind this green ground nut. I don't think it's overly critical that you do that, but we're here, so I did anyways. We got our hot to our hot, neutral to our neutral, and I placed them all up. That way if water ever does get in here, it doesn't fill the end of the wire nuts. So hopefully that'll fit behind here. When we get this thing on here, we may have to relocate or adjust some things. They need to be off to the side because they're so big they hit this main circuitry in the middle here. So you need to place them on the side. I'll still try to keep them vertical-ish orientation. This light came with these little nuts, decorative nuts, basically cap nuts. So this is a special wrench that came with the installation tool. If you remove the bit from the end, this hex is the same as those nuts. And since it's plastic, it kind of protects them. Okay, there she is, folks. We have the motion sensor set such that this is level to the ground. We're a little bit less than 9 feet off the ground, right at the mounting height, but the yard tapers off as you go away from the building. So we should be good there. Now we just need to do the electrical, well, we need to turn the power on and then set up the application side of things. And once we get that set up, we'll adjust the lights and we'll adjust the camera to make sure we have the correct field of view. So here we are. We'll go to set up a device, security cam. Now we need to scan the code. It's right on the back of the light, or the motion sensor. Confirm your address. And as we did previously, we'll type in the name we want to give it. Rear driveway. Say it's been installed. Light is flashing. Now it's going to set up a Wi-Fi connection from the camera to my phone. Need to accept the connection.
Floodlight cam is connected to the Ring app.
Oh, look at that. It found, this is the network that we're looking for. It wasn't finding it outside, it was finding all the neighbors' Wi-Fi connections. So I don't know if there's a problem with the range or if there's just too many of the neighbors. So let's connect before we lose it.
Floodlight cam is connecting to the internet. Just a moment. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Apparently Wi-Fi internet connections take forever though.
Your floodlight cam is ready to go. With Ring, you're always home.
All right, so that's all set up. Turn that off. Success! Congratulations, your floodlight cam is now set up and ready to protect you. It's updating software, but if you can see, there's a cool picture in there of me touching the camera. So I'm going to wait until this software update is complete, and then I'm going to move the light back outside to the mount where it's supposed to go and hope it drags the internet connection with it. I'm guessing, just guessing, but it could be wrong. There were too many other internet connections in close vicinity of the camera such that it kept overlooking mine. But if it's not going to be able to connect, we might have to upgrade our router to a new router. I just wanted to give you an exterior view in the daylight. It's just starting to get dark, so it's not completely daylight right now, and it's a little overcast, but it'll be more than the night vision. So we're going to take a walk up the driveway, and hopefully I can capture the video from the camera and also like dual screen it or put it right after this video so you can see me approaching and when it's going to trigger and when it's going to start recording. So here we go. There she is. The power comes from this electrical outlet, runs through the conduit, goes into this custom junction box that I made, and then obviously feeds the camera light. You know, you could have obtained this just by mounting a standard junction box up here, or a round junction box, but I really didn't like the way the round junction box looked on this flange because it's much smaller than this diameter. This diameter is actually over 6 inches, so I took a piece of this is treated wood and turned it down so it was just a little bit larger than the flange of the light, and then tapped it with a pipe tap so we can run our conduit in it. And I don't have a video of that process, but I do have some pictures of the junction box that I made if you wanted to try to make one for a mount like this. This is just a surface mount on the exterior of the siding. I hope you enjoyed watching the video on how to install a Ring floodlight security camera. I made a couple boo-boos along the way. Always happens. This is my third installation of one of these floodlight cameras, and it never fails. I always do something a little bit wrong. I think it's old Murphy's Law and the camera being on me. In the middle of the video, when I was trying to connect it to my cell phone and set it up through the application, I actually removed the camera from the exterior of the building and placed it directly next to my router inside the garage. And this was necessary because I could not get my existing router to connect to the Ring floodlight camera. And ultimately I ended up purchasing a brand new router. That one was very old and it just wasn't putting out enough signal to connect to the camera, and it wasn't fast enough. So that's something you want to make sure you keep in mind. Make sure your router is within range, and it also can support the data transfer necessary to use the camera, because I got it hooked up with the old router and it would work, but it would intermittently lose its signal and then regain its signal. So $80 later, brand new router, and everything's good to go there. One other thing I'd like to note is you do need to pay a subscription fee to make this usable. The subscription fee is basically a data storage fee. It stores your videos for 60 days, I believe, online, so you can access old videos. If you do not pay the data storage fee per your subscription, you will only be able to view the video feed instantaneously. So it will report motion, and then you'll be able to review it. But as soon as that report goes away, you will not be able to view it anymore, and it will no longer be accessible. I was really kind of opposed to this. I received my first Ring floodlight security camera light approximately a year, maybe a year and a half ago, as a gift. And I really drug my feet at installing it because I didn't want to pay that $3 a month subscription fee. After I installed it, I was extremely happy with it, and I actually, as you can tell, purchased more. I have the doorbell, I have some interior cameras, and multiple exterior floodlight cameras. So we got cameras everywhere, and the nice part about that is you don't have to pay per device. They have a single fee for all your devices, and I believe it's at one household. So our subscription fee was only $100 a year, whether I have 2 devices or 3 or 4 devices. So this allows me to remotely monitor everything, and I can always check, hey, did I shut that garage door? Or hey, who's lurking around my garage, whether it's in the front driveway or the rear driveway. I think the Ring security products are great. I think it's a good service, and I'm happy I purchased them. So I hope you have the same experience if you're interested in looking for a Ring security camera system or an exterior security camera system. I'm not affiliated with them by any means. I paid full price for them, and I'm not happy with the expense, but I am happy with the quality of video that they put out. If you have any questions for me, don't be afraid to put those in that section below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video and enjoyed this content, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button over here. We got a lot more video content coming out. 1 minute we're going to be working on installing a Ring floodlight security camera. Next minute, we might be working on the wheel horse tractor or a car or a truck, or even the house, just in general. All sorts of stuff coming at you. New videos every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, everyone.